Let's take a look at some learning theories. Well, there are many theories of how people learn. A subset of those theories is relevant to training and development in organizations. Behavioralism focuses on the observable behavior as evidence of learning, while cognitivism says that the learner should be viewed as an information processor like a computer. Constructivism argues that learning is an active, constructive process. Lastly, humanism sees the learning as a personal act and is instrumental in fulfilling one's potential. Understanding how each theory contributes to the way people learn can provide us with guidance for how to best develop training programs for employees. Within the behavioralist theories of learning, we find three relevant theories: classical conditioning, operant conditioning, and social learning theories. The most famous researchers associated with classical conditioning are Pavlov and Watson. Classical conditioning, considered a building block for how people learn, is based on so-called associative learning. Operant conditioning is the basis for reinforcement theories of motivation and helps individuals make the association between a particular behavior and a consequence. Reinforcement theories explain why employers ensure newly learned desirable behaviors introduced in training programs, such as new work processes or a new computer program, are rewarded. Cognitism differs from behavioralism because it suggests that people are more than just programmed to respond to stimuli. People must be active participants in their learning process. Cognitive load is the total amount of mental effort being used in working memory. When designing training programs, cognitive load should be reduced to maximize learning. Learning occurs through the process of memory encoding and retrieval, according to information processing theory. Information processing generally includes sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. Both sensory memory and short-term memory have limited capacity. However, long-term memory has no known limits. Information is gathered, processed, and sorted through the senses and through short-term memory. If information is deemed relevant and necessary, it is encoded into long-term memory and organized to facilitate retrieval when necessary. According to constructivism, learning is a constructive process that is active, not passive. High-order cognitive processes are utilized to develop interpretations and construct knowledge of the learning process. In active learning theory, learners or trainees control their own learning. The trainee assumes primary responsibility for learning decisions, and thus there's an internal regulation of learning. Organizational learning theory argues that organization members construct their own knowledge through a community of practice in the organization. A community of practice occurs when individuals share a domain of interest, interact with each other within a defined community, and have a shared repertoire or practice of stories or experiences. The last category of learning theories we address is the humanism approach. It suggests that learning occurs as a personal act to fulfill one's potential. Experiential learning theory argues learning is a process done through experience. Given experiential learning requires self-initiative, it fits in perfectly with the humanistic approach. In the workplace, when an employee is ready, willing, and able to learn something new, experiential learning is an appropriate tool that empowers employees to learn new material in a fun and engaging way. This means there's a greater likelihood of trainees internalizing and mastering the new material with greater intrinsic reward.